Oh, what? You mean you don't have a 52-inch TV?
Yeah.
Like that's like the minimum you have to have.
The size, like, come on, like this, like,
That's
come on,
that's
this is
an
nothing.
appetizer, man. Like
Yeah.
you need like 100-inch, and like
This is like a cookie, like,
Here's the other sad fact. Because social media is so impersonal, as you have put it, how can people have relationships?
they can't have true relationships. I mean, they can communicate. Like
just not physical, not
yeah,
in
like
person.
people can communicate, but the problem is I mean, because we have so much social media now, right? Kids that are in high school right now, junior high, elementary, they think that going on Facebook Messenger and they're going to message one of their friends and they're going to talk to them for a few minutes. I'm not saying in all cases, but in a lot of ways, they think that that's relationship, like that's connection, right? And that's very scary because human beings, we're geared to be in community with each other. Like, I'm sorry, but Facebook Messenger, it's useful to the purpose of, oh, hey, like, how you doing? Do you want to come to this event or something? Like, you're going to do that, or you're going to send a text or whatever. Somebody's like, that's very useful, right? Because you're messaging for very brief information. That's okay. But if you want to have a real conversation with somebody, either get on the phone or get them in person.
It's funny, it's social media, but I think it's more media and less social. It almost has come to that point.
Yeah.
Well, it's going back to the evolutionary standpoint of this. We are essentially a herd animal. We need to have social groups, right? Like, depending on how you want to put at it, but we're not like a cat. A cat is fine by itself. A dog wants to be around people. So it's just, we have that same evolutionary social requirement. And for the first time in human history, we are killing that. And it's just like, it makes me really wonder what is going to happen to the generations. Because if you can't start talking to the people around you, if something happens, if there's a fire, like this is got pointed out to me here a little while ago, is when we grew up, we knew our neighbors. And if something happened, we could go and knock on our neighbor's door and they would help us figure out what to do if our parents weren't around.
I don't know about you guys, but in our neighborhood, we actually left the garage door open and it was fine. Like, we could leave the garage door open overnight, and
yeah, you can't do that anymore. And Tom, I can totally relate. Like, when I was growing up in my parents' place, like, we knew, like, I mean, if we're going, say, on the block or my parents' house, like, we knew at least 4 or 5 houses in each direction, left to right. We knew at least 4 neighbors across the street, and then in the alleyway, we knew at least 5 or 6, like, across the alley as well from us. So in those numbers, that's like, that's like 12 to 15 different sets of neighbors, right?
And if something happened to you, that's 12 to 15 different sets of people that were invested in what happened to you. Like, if there was a car crash, like if you got or hit on your bike on there, that's 12 to 15 people that potentially could see what was happening and have the wherewithal to phone your parents or to phone the ambulance. Because, like, people nowadays will phone the ambulance, but they don't necessarily know where the kid belongs.
No, they don't. And it's kind of crazy, like how many people now living in their neighborhoods, if I was to walk up to them and say, what's the neighbor to at least, just, nothing complicated, but if I go, can you tell me the names of your neighbors to your left? And can you tell me the names of your neighbors to your right? Probably a lot of people won't even be able to tell you that. The only way that I think people are meeting each other in neighborhoods now is those block parties. You got one really good neighbor, they'll host a block party. Right. Once a year. The neighborhood I grew up in, we had a neighbor that was on the other, just like a couple blocks away, but they had a block party every year, every 2 years for several years. And I always admired that because it was like, at least it was an attempt to get to know the people around you.
Well, even like you look at it, we talk about how much we are consuming entertainment. Like, what do you, like, you walk down the block in the evening and what can you see through pretty much any front window the TV on? And it's just like, well, you think about it. When we were kids, yeah, we had TV, but it was just like, there wasn't that much available, so you spent a lot more time outside doing things.
Well, and it was a luxury too. Like, to think way back when, you probably definitely before we were all born, to think that just to have a TV, whoa, like you were like the cool kid on the block, and then, oh wow, this person has a color TV, you know? Oh my goodness. Now this person's HD. Now it's no longer a luxury. It's like,
oh, what? You mean you don't have a 52-inch TV?
Yeah.
Like that's like the minimum you have to have.
the size, like, come on, like this, like,
That's
come on, this
that's
is
an
nothing.
appetizer, man. Like
Yeah.
you need like 100-inch, and you know, like
This is like a cookie, like, you know.
it is a cookie, and you know, and then you even see like I'm sure you guys might have seen it too, but like they'll have even in the shower now. You can have like a little digital screen in the glass or a little waterproof screen in the shower, and it's like really, it's like you really need to be watching TV while you're having a shower. Like, come on,
or you know, using the porcelain throne.
Or porcelain throne.
Well, I go to the dentist and I get a TV on the ceiling.
Yeah,
which I find so dumb because you can't hear what's going on with it anyways because the tools.
Yeah, but you get fancy, you know, anti-glare glasses. You know, it's pretty great. It's pretty awesome, and they're pretty crystal clear, you know, and you get the mouthwash or the whatever stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. We need something in front of us to entertain us. It's like
it's just back to, it's like we need to get back to being okay with putting all the tech away and just sitting down and even staring out the window. I can tell you a little funny story. The other day, like probably about a week ago, I was outside of my apartment and I was with my wife and we were going somewhere. And you know, we pulled out of the parking lot close to our door, and there's a car, and they're about halfway up the parking lot towards the exit, and they're stopped. Like the car's running, but they're stopped, right? So I, you know, pull behind them, and they weren't moving, right? They weren't moving. So I'm like, okay, they're not moving. Like, are they picking somebody up? Like, what are they doing? Car goes forward and then all of a sudden the car starts to move, goes forward about another 15, 20 feet and stops again. And then I'm like, okay, now there's something weird. There's something going on, right? Of course, yeah, pulled right beside, like on the phone. It's just like, you're going to be on your phone, like at least pull over, like, you know, instead of making me sit there and wonder about it.
Well, how dare you? You should have shown more patience.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
who are you to interrupt
I
his
guess
browsing?
I guess I got all the time in the world, and I can sit there for 5 hours, right?
The world doesn't revolve around you.
Apparently not.
It revolves around that guy.
Yeah, that's apparently true. Yeah.